I said, Angelica wrote an offer, a cash offer for 300. He's ready to take that, you know, but he said, give me 20,000 more. So if you got anybody around that 320, I would say 325 price range, if I can get this guy to go through with it, man. He's a squirrely guy. I got problems. I may not ever sell that property, but if I go in there with 325 offer, he may do it. I might just have to have him come to my office. I don't think I'm gonna go back and forth to his house no more. You know? And I think if I get him away from all those family members, I might be all right. You know.
It's a 3 and 2.
It's a 3 and 2, and he had added 2 rooms. He said it's permitted, but I haven't got a chance to do anything with the listing yet. You know. And so I just took it without checking the permits on it, but he said it was all permitted. And if it's permitted, as he says, it's a 5 bedrooms, 2 bath house. You know, but you know, I don't know. This guy, like I said, you know, I don't know if it's true or not. So I'm not gonna have permits ordered or anything like that until I know everything's gonna be all right with it, you know. And then
I'll show you something later on.
Okay. Hey guys, anybody got some rentals? I really need a rental. Huh?
It's hard to find a listing right now in the market, so.
Well, you know, some of the listings that I have, man, they are calling left and right on, man. People are looking for listings. I mean, properties. People looking for properties. So if you get some listings, brother, you're gonna be in the driver's seat because you got a lot of folks out here.
I wrote 3 times, 3 different properties 3 times. Yeah, someone got it.
All right. Well, guys, I'm running out of time, and again, I'm gonna turn the meeting over to our broker.
It's not paired.
Mel Wilson. Come on, guys. Let's give Mel some energy.
Good morning, everybody. I'm going to try to figure out why my speaker is not behaving. It's supposed to be pairing to.
Big Gen box is in pairing mode, waiting for device to connect.
I wanted to share with you a very, I thought, inspirational presentation by Coach Lou Holtz. Anybody ever hear of Coach Lou Holtz?
Yeah, I know him.
Know him? Okay. Very successful man. Is it working? And then also I wanted to share with you some very some revelational findings that's going on in the real estate industry that's going to impact all of us. And hopefully you will begin to think about it and give some thought to your part in, and is it whether you think it's reality or if you think it's fictional, and what impact it may have on your ability to do things in the foreseeable future. How are we doing? It's buffering. All right, so while that is buffering, hopefully we'll get that through. Let me see if I can go to the other part of what I want to share with you. Thank you.
It's X.
Thank you. All right. There's a report that I received a couple days ago. The report I received. Did you hear?
I am indeed humbled and honored.
Yes, that's not on.
Be awarded
Okay.
doctor's degree from such an outstanding university. I say that from the bottom of my
Put it
heart.
on hold.
The Board of Fallsby, West
Big Gen
Virginia.
box could not bear.
All right, so I'm going to go to this report. Pardon?
Are you trying to pair it to your speaker?
Yeah, to this speaker here.
It's not working?
Let me see. Yeah.
So which one is that one?
It's a bit tricky.
Chance, is this usually how you pair it?
Battery is about full.
I'm going to get the battery.
It says it's about full.
Oh, it's full. I thought you said-
About full.
I thought you said to fall. Fine.
No.
Is it on? on now? Or it's not gonna pair?
For now.
So you have to pair, you have to turn on after the speakers, after the computer.
Actually, it's on already.
Yeah, it's
yeah, it's already.
connected.
Oh, it is connected.
It's like, it's a saved device. It's just, this is that.
Okay, got it. I'm gonna have to sit there and look at it.
All right, so while
Yeah,
you're sitting there, I'm gonna go over this. Have a chair. All right. There's a report that just came out to all the board of directors for the National Association of Realtors. I just got it last week, and I wanted to bring some of these things to your attention. This is the report here. It's online. So, yeah, it's called Danger Report. And I recommend that you all go online to realtor.org/max/danger report, or you can go to dangerreport.com. I want you to take a look at it. Okay? It breaks it down into different sections. One section is a section about what impact it's going to have on real estate agents. Beautiful. Yeah. What impact it's going to have on real estate agents. And the other one is the impact, and within that, there's probably about 10 different subparts of what's likely to happen with real estate agents. They also give the probability of it happening and the timing of how soon it may happen, and also the impact that it may have on the real estate agent. It goes into the same thing, same type of research for
Big Gem Box is in pairing mode,
real
waiting
estate
for device to
brokers,
connect.
and what's likely to happen in the real estate brokers community. It also has the dangers of impacting the National Association of Realtors, what's likely to happen with NAR. And then it goes into real estate associations, like Southland Regional and other local associations of realtors, like CAR and NAR. And then it goes into dangers of the MLS. Most of you know that the MLSs have changed significantly since we got into business years ago. I mean, many years ago, the MLS was handled by individual boards, or groups of boards of realtors. And now we have a lot of private companies who actually own the MLSs, and local boards, to a larger extent, do not own them anymore. So they're not really controlled by local boards, although boards have
Big Gem Box
members
could not
who are on
bear.
the board of directors for those MLSs. So how many of you remember when the MLS was accessible only through books?
Big Gem Box is in pairing mode, waiting for device to
Books.
connect.
When what? Books.
What, when the MLS was only available in books, is that the question? I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember running down to the board every Tuesday and Friday morning, to be the first one to get those MLS hot sheets.
Right? And you remember sitting in your car trying to look through the books, and you were trying to figure out where you're going to show property, right?
That's right.
And if you had bifocals, you were always looking up and down, trying to figure out where the page was, right? And
That's early texting.
so that's what happened then, and now all of it is online now. No success, Keith? I think the computer has to be on, and then the Gem Box has to come on afterwards.
Big Gem Box paired.
Okay, yeah, it should. Should. I said should. I don't know.
Yeah, you want to
Let's
use
try
the
it.
new part.
No, anything. Is the sound off on the AirPods? Make sure. Okay. It says it's connected. Nah, maybe you can just unpair it and listen to it on there.
You won't be loud.
It won't. But it says that it's paired. Yes, it says it's paired, but you can't. Is the battery still there? It's about full. I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything either.
You hit the sound button on the bottom of the laptop.
On the right hand side.
Is it muted, or is the sound on?
Just for a little work you can.
It's on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While they're figuring that out, William's got a dry sense of humor.
It is connected though.
So, what kind of people live in the land, or what word describes the people that live in the land of Oz?
Remember before it was.
Yeah. But I think it's like a lucid thing.
Like that.
Oh, yeah.
Overly jealous.
Under the setting.
Like in my day, everybody in that show is overly zealous, you know, the way they put it in the monkeys, Dorothy, I mean, you know, what is she, crazy?
Yeah. It's connected, but it's not. Here, right here.
I'm one of them, right now, man. Where did you go?
Established.
I think I could, Mr. Bond, the other hand. You need to do it. Slow.
This one is also max.
You missed?
She was not, sir.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, look, loophole. Congratulations.
All right. You just ain't got the pen? I mean, speakers?
Yeah, just up there. Just go get the old traditional speakers out of the speaker. Get those from right? Thank you.
To the rescue.
We came up here to beat you, and I want you to know God doesn't care who wins this
That's all, you did it already, Rodney, thank you.
It's okay?
Yes.
Say that from the bottom of my heart. I was born and fought. Thank you.
Full screen?
I'm indeed humbled and honored
The second
to be awarded a doctorate degree from such an outstanding university. I say that from the bottom of my heart. I was born in Fallsview, West Virginia, raised in East Liverpool, Ohio, so I was very familiar with Steubenville. 1950. A friend of mine from Fallsview named Gino Katroki played basketball, and that's when I first started following this fine university. I'm humbled by receiving this degree. Obviously, you didn't check my high school rank before you decided to do it. I was in the lower third of my high school class. If it was not for people like me, there could have been no upper half of the class. So, now, if you happen to be in that audience, you showed up to listen to Lou Holtz, you made a mistake. I want to talk to the young women, men and women here. I'm not going to preach to you. I'm not going to lecture to you. I'm going to talk about things I believe and the experiences I share. I'm not going to talk about stuff I read about or heard about. These are things I believe. And understand this. I've been 21. You've never been 78. So, 10% of you. I say 10% of you won't remember 10% of what is said 10 minutes after it's said it. But for the next 17 minutes, I just want to share things with you. You know, how fortunate you are to be at a great Catholic university, to be able to share your faith in God. Don't ever lose that. There'll be a tendency to get away from it. We all have a tendency to think we can do things on our own. If you want to make God laugh, you tell him what your plans are. I can't begin to tell you how many times I prayed when Michigan had the ball in our 4-yard line. Oh God, you stop, I'm going to change my life. It's like the guy that was going to an important meeting and he couldn't find a parking place. He kept searching and finally panicking. He looked up at heaven and he said, God, if you find me a parking place, I'll go to church every day, every Sunday the rest of my life. I will not drink any alcohol the rest of my life. And just then, miraculously, a parking spot opened up. He looked up at heaven and said, forget it, God, I found one on my own. We have that. You know, I have a strong faith in God, and I don't know how people live without it. I remember we played Miami, Florida. That was a great game where it was titled the Catholics versus the Convicts. I really didn't like it. I thought that was totally unfair because not all our team was Catholic. But we have this big lunch of 3,000 people. I go in and the father gets up and he says, before I give invocation, Coach Holtz, I want you to know I'm a Catholic priest. I'm the team chaplain of Miami football team. We came up here to beat you, and I want you to know God doesn't care who wins this game. When it came my turn to talk, I got up and said, I agree with you, Father. God doesn't care who wins the game, but I want to promise you his mother does. So, see, life doesn't have to be complicated. We complicate life. I'm going to make 5 assumptions about the people in this audience. I'm going to assume you want to be successful professionally. I'm going to assume you want to have a good personal life. I'm going to assume that you want to feel needed. And I'm going to assume you want to feel secure about your future. The 5th assumption I'm going to make is you want to go to heaven. And I'm going to give you a simple plan how to do all 5, because see, you don't have to sacrifice your religious life, your personal life, in order to advance professionally. They all work together. And don't complicate it. I try to keep life simple. Do you realize there are only 7 colors of the rainbow? Only 7. Look what Michelangelo did with those 7 colors. There's only 7 musical notes. Look what Beethoven did with those 7 notes. There's only 10 numbers. Look what Bernie Madoff did with those 10 numbers. The point I made is it doesn't have to be complicated. See, you need 4 things in your life. If you don't have any of these 4 things in your life, you're going to have a tremendous void. See, everybody needs something to do. Number 2, everybody needs someone to love. Number 3, everybody needs someone to believe in. In my case, it's Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. But the 4th thing you need in your life is you need something to hope for. What do you want to do? Having hopes and dreams and ambition. See, I think that is absolutely critical. Don't make the mistake I made. I've done a lot of dumb things, but let me tell you the one thing I regret. We went to the University of Notre Dame. We took a program on the bottom. We took it to the very top. And for 9 straight years, we went to a January 1 bowl, the sugar, the cotton, the orange, and the fiesta. Nobody's done it before. Nobody's done it since. We put it on top and we maintained it. That's the thing I regret the most. See, there's a rule of life, but then you're either growing or you're dying. The tree's either growing or it's dying. So's grass, so's a marriage, so's a business, so's a person. Doesn't have a thing to do with age. My birthday candles cost more than a cake. But it has everything to do. Am I trying to get better? Am I trying to improve? We got on top and say, you know, this is pretty good. Let's maintain it. Let's not take any risk. We finished 2nd in the country at Notre Dame. Everybody called me an idiot. Guy finishes last in medical school. They call him doctor. That doesn't seem fair. When I left Notre Dame, I never thought I'd coach again. Where do you go from Notre Dame? According to my mother, you go directly to heaven. You sit by the Pope. You don't coach anymore. And then I went to live in a town where the average age was deceased. And when I found out, I wasn't tired of coaching. You have to have something to hope for, something to dream. And even though you've done great things so far, what's going to happen now? I want to give you a simple plan. So maybe you follow those 5 assumptions. And this is not something I talk about, it's something I believe, and it works. And I wish I'd have learned it when I was 21. There's only 3 rules you have to follow. You know, we have all kinds of laws, federal laws, county laws, state laws, corporate laws, bylaws, and in-laws and outlaws. We only need 3 laws. Law number 1, do what's right. Do what's right and avoid what's wrong. If you have any doubt, get out the Bible. I do not think it's right to find his teammate's wallet before he lost it. See, that's called stealing, son. I found it, but he hadn't lost it yet. I understand. Just do what's right. There's never a right time to do the wrong thing. And there's never a wrong time to do the right thing. Just do what's right. I think it's right beyond time. I think it's wrong to practice sexism, racism, spousal abuse. I think it's wrong to be bitter. We've all had injustices done. by society, by a spouse, by a professor. Do respect professors. I've referred to my own. But you know what? Don't go through life where you're being bitter, where you pass away, your spouse has to hire 6 pallbearers because you don't have friends. Just do the right thing. And I think it's also right to have an excellent, positive attitude. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy life. Have
There's one thing open. There's only one thing open.
I didn't mean to say amen that loud. I didn't think it'd stop him. I was like, so be it.
fun. You're going to have problems. You're going to have difficulties. That's part of life.
Probably rolled us.
Because you graduate doesn't mean you aren't going to have problems. And don't tell people about your problems. Do you know that 90% of the people don't care? And the other 10% are glad you got them. So you're better off. You're going to have problems. But
Sorry guys, it's buffering, I think.
What was that about my car while it's waiting?
That was good, Will. That was.
There it is.
Number 5 was out, yeah.
It's better than the odds. That's because I have sitting on my computer my Scholar's Desk sculpture. It's a turquoise carved butterfly. And it just sits there and reminds me of everything that's beautiful. So as I sit and I work on my computer, I can think about all those things that are creative and wonderful in life.
have fun with what you're doing. People say, did you have fun doing the ESPN? Not really. I was up there in Bristol, Connecticut, which was 15 minutes from Hartford by telephone. And I'm on there with a guy named Mark May. Now, I love Mark May, beautiful guy. But we have a different opinion. He was a player. As a coach, he made suggestions. I made decisions. He showered after work. I showered before work. He signed a paycheck on the back. I signed it on the front. You know, just different things. But you know what? When they turned the red light on, I was going to have fun. If you have fun doing something, people have fun being around. Every day I walked out on the football field, first thing I said, boy, what a great day to work. And I meant it. Because if you have fun being there, people have fun being around. Doesn't mean I don't do dumb things. And sometimes I wasn't real honest. One time Mark May said something about my golf game. I said, I want you to know I'm the best golfer at Lake Nona. Well, Lake Nona.
What school is this? I didn't catch that.
I think it's just this Franciscan University.
It's a Catholic place, Rodney.
Yeah, I can guess that.
What do you guys think so far?
He's a really good speaker.
Good speaker.
Yeah, he has some.
Good life values, huh? You all know who Lou Holtz is, right? Lou Holtz, I think, coached South Carolina, University of South Carolina. He coached
Notre Dame, but
University of Notre Dame.
Notre Dame for Lou Holtz.
Yeah. The first time I met him, I was with the New York Football Giants, and we were playing the New York Jets, and he was the coach for the Jets.
Oh, yeah.
He's a tough guy.
Yeah.
I don't know, he seems pretty nice, Mr. Wilson.
Not the football field. He wants to win.
Yeah, I heard him speak at one of these car meetings. We've had him, either car or.
I don't remember.
Really? Yeah, we have. If it wasn't that, it was like maybe Century 21 maybe when I was with them or Remax or something. Yeah. I've heard him live.
What did you think?
Excellent. He's an excellent speaker.
Yeah. Okay, is it buffed up enough?
Nona. Well, Lake Nona, we have about 15 pros. Graham McDowell, Henry Stinson, Eon Poulter, just around. Well, I go back, everybody's on me. You lied on TV. I said, let me tell you something. 300 members know I lied. 300 million people think I'm a hell of a golfer. So I like that percentage. You just do what's right. And don't let people tear you down. Don't let people. Many years ago, I take my family down to Orlando, Florida. We have 4 children. They're all girls but 2, and I'm real proud of that fact. And we're getting ready to play Orlando. We're getting ready to play Florida in the Sugar Bowl. So we go to Orlando where we have a home, and we go out to dinner. The waiter came up and he recognized me. He said, "You're the Holtz head coach of Notre Dame, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes, sir." And I got out my pen thinking he wanted an autograph. He said, "Let me ask you a question." He said, "What's the difference between Notre Dame and Cheerios?" I said, "I don't have a clue." He said, "Cheerios belong in a bowl, Notre Dame doesn't."
That's funny. You must have said, what?
Now, these are absolutely true. It made me mad and got me a bad mood. And my wife said, "You're going to let somebody you never met before, you're never going to see again, doesn't care a thing about, you're going to let them ruin the evening because something stupid said." And she's right. Don't let other people control your attitude. That's you. I felt so good. A little bit later, I called the waiter back over and I said, "Son, let me ask you a question. What's the difference between Lou Holtz and Golf Pro?" He said, "I don't have a clue." I said, "A Golf Pro gives tips," which he found out when the meal was over.
Oh, we missed that joke.
You got it?
No, we missed that joke.
No, the Golf Pro gets tips and you don't after the meal.
Aha,
I
I
had a
read it
clue.
right already.
I said, "A Golf Pro gives tips," which he found out when the meal was over about do what's right. Rule number 2. Do everything to the best of your ability with time allotted. You know, ladies and gentlemen, not all of us be All-American, not everybody can be first team. Everybody can be the best you're capable of being.
Okay, I'm gonna let it bump through so we don't get continually stopped. Is that okay?
Yes,
Yeah, because the guy is pretty good. He's got a little bit more to say. So, yeah, let's do the thing. We're just gonna go, and we're gonna transition back after it buffers up. So, let's go into the danger report. It's broken down into a probability of happening, when it's likely to happen, and the impact that it's gonna have. And what this report says, it was done by a number of folks who were in the strategic planning group for the National Association of Realtors. They hired some professional researchers to look at what's going on in the industry and what's going on outside the industry. And what they determined is that under the agent portal, masses of marginal real estate agents are destroying the reputation of the industry. Would you all agree?
Yes.
How many of you had a transaction with an agent and it looked like they didn't know what the world they were doing? All right?
I disagree.
Right? Okay. You haven't had that kind of experience?
No, I agree that there's some truth to this statement, but I don't think it's accurate to label it as their fault when there's many people in the business for thousands of years that haven't kept up on the current trends that are just as dangerous.
Is that what this is saying?
No, I'm just saying, you know.
This is saying the
They're
real
saying
estate
it's all
industry.
their fault, and I'm saying.
No, it's not blaming, it's not putting fault anywhere. It's just saying what they're observing is that a lot of real estate agents are not up to speed on what's going on with the industry. They're part-timers, they're untrained, they're unethical. How many of you have dealt with an unethical agent? Right? They're incompetent. One of the things that I've made known for years is that in a real estate transaction, all you need is 3 people who are really will make the transaction work. You need a motivated buyer, a motivated seller, and at least one motivated agent. And sometimes we as the agent will have to get in and do the other agent's work in order for us to make sure we take care of our clients' needs and we're doing our fiduciary duty for our clients. So the probability of this index is very high, 100%. This is like as high as you can get, 100% chance that this is going to continue to happen, right? You all know that in order for you to get your real estate license, it probably requires about 60 hours of study, maybe. And then to renew your license is 45 hours over a 4-year period of time. And so there are lots of folks who, you know, they probably fudge when it comes to doing the test. They probably have other people taking the test for them. And you wonder, how in the world did this person get to be an agent when they can't even write a sentence? Have you seen that? I have. I've seen offers and counter offers. I said, my gosh, how did they become an agent? So this is happening a lot. The timing is that it's going to happen more likely sooner than later, right?
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
what do you mean by taking the test for somebody else?
Well,
Can you do that?
you're not supposed to, but there was a time when they didn't monitor the test taking as good as they do now, where people would go in with an ID, and you say you're Keith Tan, and you come in with an ID, and maybe you're not Keith Tan, but you have Keith Tan's ID, and you go in and you sit down and you take the test.
Well, that was probably many years ago.
Yeah. But just think about that. People got their license, and all they have to do now is renew their license. They don't have to go back and take that test. And the test that you do now to renew your license is open book. It's nothing that requires you to sit down there and be monitored by somebody to get your licensing renewed. And in most industries, like accountants, attorneys, they have hours and hours of accreditation work that they have to do in between their license time and the expiration of their license. We have 45 hours, and it's so easy to do. I mean, most of us wait until the last minute. Oh, I'm running out of time now, and right? This is the way it is. So it's not like it's so complicated to get into this business now. And that's one of the challenges that we have, is that it's so easy to get into the business that folks who should not be in the business are in the business. And the sad part is that the legislature will not change that, because the moment the California Association of Realtors and the National Association of Realtors tried to put more requirements for education, the legislators are saying, well, you just want to pull the gate up after you've gotten inside. You want to pull up, close the door after you've gotten in. It was easy for you, now you don't want other people to get in. So it's a challenge that we have in trying to get the legislature to pass laws and make it more difficult for people and make folks have to get more involved. One of the things they did a couple of years ago is they made it now a mandatory requirement for you to actually become a supervising broker to have at least 2 years of sales experience. Before that, all you had to have was a college degree in any subject, and take the test, pass the test, you become a broker, and you got people running around working for you, and you're supposed to be supervising them. Okay? All right, let me go to the next. How are we doing on the buffering? Can you tell?
It says connection was lost.
Oh,
That's good.
That looks pretty good.
all right, so can we go back?
Yeah. Can we watch it again?
Yeah.
That's good.
I want to tell you, if you want to fail, you have the right to fail. That's what's great about this country. You do not have the right to cause other people to fail, because you don't do everything best your ability. When you join a spouse, you bring a child to the world, you join a business, you join a team. You have obligation, responsibilities, and you owe it to other people to do the maximum you can at each and everything you do. It's not complicated. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know this. I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I know. I was born in Fallsville, West Virginia. And I went by where I was born last night, about 10:30. I was born in a cellar at home, delivered by Dr. McGraw. We had one bedroom for my sister, myself, and my parents. We had a half bath and a kitchen. 7.5 years we lived in that place. There was no welfare. There was no food stamps. There was no safety net. But I always had plenty to eat. Because every time I asked for seconds, my dad would say, no, you had plenty. It's the reason I was born with a silver spoon. My dad had only gone to the 3rd grade. That's all the education he had. But why was I born with a silver spoon in my mouth? Because I taught by my parents. The life's a matter of making choices, wherever you are, good or bad, because of choices you make. Don't blame anybody else, but if you get an education, you're willing to work and overcome problems and difficulties in this great country, you can amount to something. That's why I was born with a silver spoon. I was in this country and I was taught personal responsibility for choices you make. And when we talk about a commitment to excellence, that's a choice you make. And the last rule, to show people you care. And you walk in the room, your attitude, hey, here I am, look at me. It's like, no. Your attitude, there you are, how can I help you? See, my wife, God bless her, my wife is a stage 4 cancer survivor. The weight went from 129 to 89. They gave her 10% chance to live. I'm happy to report my wife's doing well now. I don't even pray for her anymore. I pray to her. I mean, she's just but we're opposites night and day. She said opposites attract and then attack, but she's also, she left me, we're opposites. She doesn't have a sense of humor, but she left me a note a couple months ago and said, Lou, I can't please everybody in the world, so I'm going to stop trying. I'm going to focus on pleasing one person a day, and today's not your day, and tomorrow doesn't look real promising either. But she is my best friend. We've been married 54 years. I was on a golf course. I said, yeah, I married my best friend. The guy said, your wife's not your best friend. I said, yes. He said, your dog is. I said, no, you're wrong. He said, you're wrong. He said, try this then. Lock your wife and your dog in the trunk of the car. Come back in 2 hours and see which one's happy to see you. But my wife never does dinner. She does one other dinner in life, and I asked her, what did you learn from having cancer? She said, I learned how much my family loved me. Now, we didn't love her anymore. We showed it. Why did somebody have to go through something like that before we realize how important we are? Ladies and gentlemen, I received this honorary doctor's degree, not because what I did, because what other people did. It's the same thing. Whenever you receive recognition, pass the credit. It's not complicated. It's just genuinely caring about people, because everybody you're going to meet the rest of your life needs a smile, needs a kind word, needs an encouragement. Because see, when you do the right thing, people are always going to be able to trust you. My wife and I have been married because we can trust each other. I never lose the trust. The only way people are ever going to trust you if you do the right thing. That's all God wants us to do. Do the right thing. The second thing is do everything to the best of your ability, because then people will know you're committed to excellence. You want to be special. Not to say, hey, here I am, but help other people and caring about people. See, a lot of you are going to be successful. You're going to go make a lot of money, and when you die, it ends. But hopefully everybody in this graduating class is going to be significant. The significance is when you help other people be successful. And that lasts many a lifetime after that. I congratulate you again. People say, would you like to be 21 again? I wish I knew those 3 rules when I was 21. I've used them for the last 40 years. There's a statue of me at Notre Dame. I guess they need a place for the pigeons to land, but if you go look at it, just go look at 3 words on the pedestal. Trust, commitment, love. Because those are the 3 rules I had for my children, my team. My greatest accomplishment is not coaching, not TV, not speaking. The greatest accomplishment is my family. And I'm very proud of it. You can't take your money to heaven, but I'll tell you something. You can sure take your children to heaven with you. I leave you with this very last thought. Very last thought. Want to be happy for an hour? Eat a steak. Want to be happy for a day? Play golf. Want to be happy for a week? Go on a cruise. Now, to me, going on a cruise like being in jail, except you have a chance to drown, but that's okay. Want to be happy for a month? Play golf. Want to be happy for a month? Buy a new car. Want to be happy for a year? Win the lottery. Want to be happy for a lifetime? Put your faith in Jesus Christ. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're almost out of time. What I'm gonna do is just go cover a couple things and then we'll pick this up next week on the dangers in the industry, okay? Do you guys like that?
Yeah,
It's
it's
pretty powerful.
I want to
huh?
watch that again. It's just reminded me.
Yeah, we're gonna put it on the website so you can download it and, okay? I think it's pretty cool. All right, what's that?
You loved it.
You love it? Yeah, he's pretty humorous.
He's a good speaker.
Yeah, he's a good speaker. He's a great coach. I just remember how tough the guy was. And he's just a good guy. All right. So the other thing that one of the other things they looked at is commissions. You know, when I got into business 37 years ago, you know, the standard commission was 6%, but the agents that were really good charged 7%. And on vacant land, it was 10%. Now, how often do you see a 7% commission in the MLS? How often do
That
you?
I'm gonna tell anybody about, because I'm keeping the 4.
All right. How many of you have seen a 6% commission lately in the MLS?
I have.
3%.
I'll try to do 6% this week.
Not often, huh? If you look at the majority of the MLS offerings for commission, you do not see the commissions the way they used to be. And so there is a downward spiral of commissions. And the more you see companies like Zillow, Redfin, Zip Realty, they may charge a standard fee, but they're giving a portion of that back to someone, most likely the buyer or someone else. And you're seeing a lot of flat fee companies come in to the market where they are trying to provide a flat fee to their customer. So we're going to see more and more of this. And those of us who want to stay in this business, we have to show the consumers that we are adding value to them. Most of them are questioning, well, why should I give $30,000 to you to have you help me sell my house? And especially if you're in a market where it's a seller's market and the moment you get it on the market, it sells. And they're wondering, what am I getting? Well, I think they're getting a lot if we're a good agent. But we have to be able to show them what we're offering them. What is the value that we're offering them? And why should they pay those fees in order for them to get it? So there's an 87.5% chance that this is going to continue. And let's see here. How are we doing on time? I have 2 minutes. Agents threatening the survival of brokerages, agent teams. Some of you, I've encouraged you to create your own team. Teams now are becoming much more powerful than brokerages. If you'll think about one of the most powerful teams in our region, I would say, who would say they know the most powerful team in our region? Stephanie Vitako. I would say she's at the top, if not the top. At one time, Stephanie had like 12 people working underneath her. And I bet today she has at least 5 people working for her. And when Stephanie and I, who've been friends for a long time, I asked her when she left Coldwell Banker and went to Keller Williams, I said, well, why did you leave? She said, well, I've been talking to my broker and I thought they should give me a better split than I was getting. And so they, just kind of blew me off. And so I, start being talked to by Keller Williams and they offered me a better deal. And she says, when I left them, 35% of their inventory left Coldwell Banker and went to Keller Williams. And so this is what's happening more and more, is that teams are becoming much more prominent in the real estate industry. And why is that happening? I think it's happening for a number of different reasons. One of them is that you can delegate some of your work to someone else. You can have a life. You can get back some of your time. If you are working with buyers and sellers and you want to go on a 2-week vacation to Tahiti or wherever you want to go, it's going to be difficult for you to let go. But if you have a team, you can delegate a lot of that work to your teammate. And your teammate can also go on vacation too, so you can take up some of the slack when they're going out of town. So teams are becoming much more prominent than they ever have before, and that probably will continue. I would recommend, again, that you guys all think about creating your own team, where you have people who work with you, and I can show you how to put these teams together, and then you can have the freedom of getting some of your time back. You may not make as much money per transaction, but I can assure you if you have an effective team, you're going to have more transactions. So you may give up something in terms of the number of dollars per transaction, but you're gonna be able to increase the number of transactions. So, we're gonna leave it at that because it's 11 o'clock straight up. But next week, we're gonna continue on with this, and I'm gonna hopefully open your eyes so you can begin to think about what's going on around you. Okay? Thank you all.
Who was on with the GoToMeeting?
Oh.